Carbon and greenhouse gas emissions in the UK were normally contributed by one sector in the UK in 2022. Do you want to guess what that is? Transport. The answer was transport. You can see the rail behind me. The sector produces 34% of all emissions in the UK, but how can we reduce that? One way is looking at neighbouring countries to see how they have less transport emissions in the UK. And one country comes to mind that uses a lot of public transport. That's right, the Danish.
Look how smug I look. I meant the Netherlands, you fucking idiot.
That's right, the Netherlands. I actually visited the Netherlands quite recently due to an error in my code, and I forced one of my friends to come along with me.
Never mind. That's the life for coffee.
I'm gonna mush it.
Okay, now I'm calling that.
Says that way.
I call. Yeah, I'm calling him speed run, bro.
If you want to see us try and navigate the Netherlands using my own form of Google Maps, stay tuned and subscribe. Spoilers, we get lost like every 5 minutes.
Very lost.
According to some Climate EU documentation, the Netherlands actually had 28% of all its emissions being transport. That's only a 6% difference from the UK, I hear you say, but those 6.72 million tonnes could heat up 2.7 million houses in the UK per year. So why do the Dutch have less emissions? I'll have one word for you. That's right, the answer is bikes.
Why am I showing a scooter? The Dutch have a complex architecture for all their cycle lanes, which spans the entire country. Everyone has a bike. If you need to carry stuff, you just use one of these super cargo bikes as well. Quick note, by the way, look at these bike storage bunkers. It's absolutely mental.
But fixing the bike infrastructure in the UK is really hard, because look at some of these lanes, it's just a bunch of zigzags across. And half the time they just expect you to just stop going on the road. Gravel. Okay, that's not that. Okay, that was a weird one. That was a strange. Oh, these roads are fucking bumpy. Oh, speed bump. Oh, these roads are not made for scooters. So I think we need to increase the size of all our cycle lanes to be the same as the Netherlands. Bikes in the Netherlands come second nature. 99% of all residents actually own a bike in comparison to the UK, which that number's 47%. We've got a bloody while to go, don't we? But how am I going to find all the cycle lanes in the UK and also in the Netherlands? It's a good question that you asked, you little nerd. Well, I'll be using a platform called QGIS, which is an open source geographical platform. With this, you can manipulate shapefiles and also maps. But how are you going to find the cycle lanes within these map files? So just kind of like drawings, aren't they? This is why a platform called OpenStreetMap, which is a plugin in QGIS, will be useful. OpenStreetMap is just an open source library which allows users to input in longitude and latitude points associated with other buildings and, more importantly, different highway types. Yeah, this looks like a butcher's. I'm just gonna say, yep, what kind of butcher's? I don't know, like beef butcher? Who gives a shit?
It's literally called the pork store. Why would you call it a beef butcher? Okay, it's not the most accurate platform, but it does get 80% of the job done, so I'll say that's good enough.
And one of them highway types is cycle lanes. I did find out a problem though, because when typing in the Netherlands, it almost killed my computer about 3 times.
Are you taking the piss?
Not again. I also tried this for England and also again broke my PC.
Not again.
Or we could try and fix our train service to be modelled around the Dutch, since the Netherlands has an almost nationalised railway service. They even have double-decker trains. Isn't that cool?
Oh, look at that though. Fucking double-decker trains.
Double size for a double size man like me.
Double-decker trains. What world we live in? Where's my train ticket? That's a good question.
Okay, I don't really care because I'm not like a train nerd or anything like that. Guys, exciting news. The next train is the EM9 1113 to Manchester Piccadilly with the East Midlands Railway service. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the train and wave at the driver. Literally, where is this train? It's literally not showing up. What's going on?
Yeah, the one train example I was going to use is like delayed and late, so I think trains in the UK are a bit of a lost cause. So let's just go back to bikes.
Since we can't look at this at a countrywide scale, we have to compare it to cities, since the closest city that I've been to in the Netherlands is Amsterdam. Its UK equivalent is London. I'm going to have an object detection system, so it's going to count the amount of pedestrians, cars and cyclists on our journey. What we're going to do is take footage that I had when I was actually in Amsterdam quite recently. Luckily I was on the tram, but I have quite a fair few shots of cars, pedestrians and a lot of movement around in the city. And for London's case, I'll use a couple royalty-free and publicly available videos in that case. I use an existing package which is a Python object detection system and downloaded the model that actually looks at pre-existing objects and has already tagged them.
But what is an object detection system? Said no one really cares, Eamon. It's a computer vision process that uses deep learning to find instances of an object within a frame. You need a classifier style to identify the item of choice, and for our case it's called HAR Cascade, which is a machine learning based approach where you use a model trained on a classifier. A classifier is basically just a type of object that you're looking for, such as a Gundam, among this character. For our exciting case, the world of modes of transport. The model is trained on images with and without these points, so a big thanks to the guys at Open Modal Zoo who have scraped through the web and found real footage with 80 classes we can look at.
The ones I'm looking at are public transport, so don't worry, not trees or random pigeons that you're going to see on the screen here. I mainly looked at cars, bicycles and pedestrians. You can input a video into the plugin and it slows down frame by frame and tries to do the object detection model on top of it. Based on this, it'll be counting the amount of times it can see a cyclist or pedestrian while on this platform. Now we have the total sum of cyclists and other modes of transport. We have a rate that we can compare it to. Comparing these two rates, we can see the percentage difference and scale up London's current architecture. Looking at the code, the rate of cyclists in Amsterdam from the footage has a ratio of 1,250 per 3,000 vehicle types. And that ratio in London is 208 by 3,000. So the percentage difference is 600%. Taking London cycle infrastructure
and using some Python code, we can take all the line polygons and extend the length of each of them by 6 times, which makes this cycle map look like this. Which looks insane. Look how many crossovers there is. Look how easy it would be to go across London now on a bike.
Now, since I couldn't get the entire UK data, I at least did some research to see how big of a task that would actually be. First, finding all the cycle lane lengths did give me like a bazillion answers, but I was using Wikipedia, just like my old lecturer would say.
Whatever you do not use Wikipedia. It is not a credible source of information.
This gave us an answer of 12,739 miles, or 20,501 kilometers. So scaling that up, it would be 143,507 kilometers, or 63,695 extra new miles of cycle lane. Yeah, I know this is very unfeasible, but how much would that actually cost? Doing some additional research, I discovered that Sustrans, which is a cycle surveyor, found that a high specification cycle path cost around £1.3 million per kilometre. Wait, million with an M? If we actually did that, which won't happen by the way, I mean, look at some of these examples. Some of these cycle lanes are shocking. One of them would cost at least... Okay, my brain can't even comprehend what I'm looking at here. So let's use MathsCat to try and see how much this actually would cost. Breaking that out in pounds will roughly cost around 186,559,100,000 pounds. All right, so maybe we should just fix some old cycle lanes instead. But did they actually solve anything? I don't think so. But I did find out that we should fix some important cycle lanes so we can try to get to net zero as quickly as possible. So we can use some of these excess emissions for good. If you stay till the end, you should check out one of the weird videos that YouTube has suggested on the screen, and you should also follow me on other platforms such as Twitter and TikTok, because it literally pings my phone every time somebody follows. Alright, let me get on my motorcycle.
Oh man, I'm gonna fall. I feel like I'm gonna fall. Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna fall. Well, who uses this?